Well, we're in downtown Savannah. We'll be taking a tour on the old Savannah tours. We got Wayne and Gloria, Terry, myself, and we're trying to figure out where best to spend our money. So we'll be catching a trolley, and I'll be taking little snapshots of our tour around.
No, admittedly, I didn't do a YouTube thing. I probably should have. You can learn a lot.
Look like a YouTube person would check it out.
Thank you. I like to think I look hip and cool, you know? I'm 28.
We're buying tickets for the trolley, and very nice ladies here.
My mom actually.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay, we got our tickets, and now we're moving on to the trolley. Well, we found the trolley. We're on the old Savannah tours, and we're getting ready to load up on the bus. So we got unlimited on and off. Hi. What's your name?
Sandra, how are you?
Hey, Sandra, how are you?
Okay.
We're going to be customers today.
Okay, that's right.
The air conditioner's not working, I see.
No, it's not.
Looks like a fine group of people here.
I'd like to thank you all for choosing Old Savannah Tours. We have quite the tour scheduled for you all today. Out there in our beautiful historic district, you'll find a perfect blend of the old and new, the preserved and restored homes, and our wonderful set of squares designed by our founder, General James Everett Oglethorpe, and the largest urban forest in the United States. You may see some of my friends. They may wish to share their stories with you, so listen closely. You might learn a thing or two along the way. Now I'm going to turn you over to your wonderful guide so your journey can begin. But allow me very first to welcome you to Georgia's first city, Savannah. Be safe and come see us again.
Now in just a moment on the right hand side there will be a fence near the street, and it's kind of blocked by a few cars. There will be a few opportunities in the tour for you to see it, but for those who can't see it right now, it is the Poets and Presidents fence right here on the right hand side of the trolley. It's the one near the road. You'll see it has faces on it of poets and presidents. Who would have thought? Even Honest Abe is on there, and he's facing the way he does in the penny, to the right. Which I get asked this a lot, you know, what came first, the penny or the fence? Probably the penny, but you never know. History can be weird sometimes. One of my favorite things about living in Savannah is how our architecture is so different but cool. If you look to the right at these long gutters, you see the fish at the bottom? That is called a dolphin downspout. Dolphin fish meant good luck in low country. It'd be part of a gutter system that washed away the bad luck. And you might be thinking, it doesn't look like a dolphin or a fish. It looks like a demonic skull thing. But demonic skull, dolphin downspout fish doesn't really have a good ring to it.
Okay, we just got off the trolley to catch some lunch. And
What's the name of the square, John?
I don't know. We're going through a square, but I don't know the name of it. I'll try to find it before we get out of it. It's beautiful. There's 22 squares in Savannah. There originally were 24. Over the years they did away with 2, and then they came back and put 1 in.
Look at that plant.
Yeah, it's coming into Labor Day. Yeah.
This is Chippewa Square. This is where they filmed Forrest Gump eating the buck, or sitting on the bench talking about the life as like a box of chocolates.
Yeah.
And we just left Chippewa Square. We're walking down the street to a little restaurant that we're going to try to get some lunch at called Sixpence. It's a Irish pub. It's supposed to have really good food. Well, we'll be the judge of that, I
I
guess.
think, honey, it's going to be a British pub. You see an Irish flag? Take a picture of that. Here.
And Terry's going to make a phone call, I guess.
Well, maybe they should have stopped.
Oh, we're trying to get in the restaurant now. Okay, we're starting to eat here. Wayne and Gloria got Reubens, and they look pretty good. Wayne's got the looks like Reuben rye bread, and Gloria's got white. Wayne's just pumping that thing. Terry has got a banger, a loaded banger,
With bacon and
which reminds me of a girl I dated in high school. She got drunk and never mind. And then I got a prime rib with that sandwich without the bread. So, bon appetit, girls.
Colonial Park Cemetery is one of my favorite places in this entire city. I could probably give you a whole tour just on the cemetery alone, but I'm not going to do that. Now, this cemetery is our oldest existing cemetery. It started about 1750. It went on till 1853. There are over 10,000 bodies supposed to be interred inside those gates. But as you're looking at those gates and you're kind of looking inside the cemetery, you're thinking there is no way there are 10,000 people in there. And you would be absolutely correct. I need you to ignore the gate for the minute, because that gate wasn't put up until 1923. It was gifted to us by the Daughters of the American Revolution. When the city was expanding, they decided the best way to make more room for people was to start condensing things. And by condensing, I mean they told the cemeteries they needed to push back. So the cemetery, this one in particular, was about 1.5 blocks wide on each and every side. It was larger than that. So the city tells them they've got to push back. They got to push back to where the line is for now, the cemetery. Well, now you've got all these people that were buried 1.5 blocks on each and every side. What were they going to do with them? Well, they were told when Laurel Grove Cemetery was commissioned that they had to pick up those bodies and move them. But as we've already learned, they didn't move most of the bodies out of most of these cemeteries when they were told to. That's why I said, think poltergeist, guys, because quite often there is a rule amongst all the construction workers here. When they're renovating in the historic district, any of the new buildings or the old buildings, they are told when you come across a body, not if, when you come across a body, you are have to stop. That is just the way it is. So yes, we are rolling on caskets more than likely right now. You come to a bump in the road around here, it's probably not a pothole, guys. I hate to tell you. All right, this building right here though, this is our police barracks. Now the thing about the police barracks is this is the oldest police barracks in its original structure. So it's not the oldest police barracks at all, like there was older police departments, but this is the only one that's still in its first original structure. So that's why this building is so impressive. But yes, that is Nathaniel Greene's monument right there. Now right directly in front of us though is that beautiful big white building, and that is the Christ Episcopal Church. The Christ Episcopal Church is the oldest place of worship in the entire country. That means since 1734, when it was completed construction, it has always been a place of worship in one way or another, which is very impressive when you really think about it. Our last stop before we head down to the river, and this is going to be Reynolds Square. Now before we get to Reynolds Square though, you're going to notice there's another very large monument in the center of it, because that's what we do here. That very large monument is actually for John Wesley. Now, John Wesley was the leading Methodist church or preacher of the time, and we've been talking about how, you know, the Catholics and the Protestants and like that was a really big deal around here. Now we're going to come up to two really big monuments before we head up. We're going to point out the order they're in, but we're going to talk about it in reverse. It's going to make sense in a minute. The first monument that we got, this right over here, that is our beautiful waving girl. That is the one at the Pirate's House. She was talking to you about her. And then a little bit away from it is this big torch over here. And this torch is the 1996 Olympic torch. Does anybody remember where the 1996 Olympics were held? Atlanta. Alright guys, this is our City Hall stop. This is going to be the final stop before we head to Franklin Square. And after Franklin Square, we head back to the Visitor Center again, okay? So if you guys look straight ahead, you're going to see the City Hall. And the most prominent thing about the City Hall over there is it has a big gold dome right on top of it. That's kind of a big deal because this is the only state in the entire country with two cities in it that have a gold dome on top of their City Hall. Now obviously we have Atlanta has the gold dome on the City Hall, and then Savannah's gold dome came quite a few years later because the gold dome didn't officially come into play until the 1980s. And the reason for that is another really funny story, because the original dome on top of our City Hall was copper. And then during a St. Patrick's Day party, they decided they were going to change the gold dome or the copper dome on top of City Hall to green. I don't know why we thought that was going to be a good idea, but yep, somebody went through all the effort of dyeing that copper dome green. But they never took their chemistry because they didn't understand that you couldn't get the green right off the copper. The dome started turning crazy shades of brown, and I mean, it was an eyesore. People hated it. We were actually an embarrassment. It was so embarrassing that the mayor of Savannah actually commissioned for us to replace the copper dome. So he paid $250,000 for them to put the gold leaf on top of the dome in the City Hall now. Now we have one more story about Savannah before we head back, and this one involves General Hardee. If you know Hardeeville, South Carolina, this is what it was named for. Now General Hardee was the general of the regiment that was stationed here in Savannah right when General Sherman was making his way down here. And like we said before, we knew General Sherman was coming because he was burning everything on an entire march down here. Like right before he hit us, he hit Atlanta, and he burned Atlanta to the ground. He devastated that entire city. So when we got wind that General Sherman was on his way, they were given orders to General Hardee. They told him, we need you to leave as soon as you can, because we had a plan that we were going to work out our own truce. So he told General Hardee's men to throw all the ammo they couldn't carry into the river, throw all the weapons they couldn't carry in the river, and throw even the cannons they couldn't take with them. They were all to go in the river. We're still pulling the cannons and weapons out of the river as we speak today. And he marched all those men from here all the way up to Hardeeville, South Carolina, and that's where it received its name because he saved that entire regiment. The best part of this story, though, is like we said, we knew General Sherman had been burning everything until he got to us. But for whatever reason, when Sherman reached the city of Savannah, he did not burn it to the ground. Instead, he decided to stay in this city and occupy it. So he was here during the rest of the duration of the Civil War. But he didn't burn it, and nobody could figure out why. Some people said it was because the wealthier citizens that had got left behind had formed a truce with him. And everybody believed that for a long, long time. And then after the war was over, letters started to surface. And the letters were between General Sherman and Abraham Lincoln. And one of these letters read that he was so infatuated with the beauty of Savannah when he got here. As a matter of fact, he thought the city of Savannah was too beautiful to burn. So instead he decided that he was not only going to save Savannah, but he was going to give it as a Christmas gift to Abraham Lincoln in that winter of 1864. So the reason Savannah survived the Civil War and didn't burn like so many other of its counterparts had was because it was given as a Christmas gift to Abraham Lincoln that year for Christmas. On off and enjoy the rest of your day.